I think we're at the top of the hour, so let's begin. Wow, good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you all. Hello, welcome, bienvenidos, bitami, bem-vindos, jambo, maligayang, padating, and swaswudzie. So hello, everyone, and welcome to our first session of the WYCUP Virtual Forum this morning. It's really great to see you all here. This is our annual gathering of the world's young credit union professionals, and it's just so nice to have such a great group with us today. Before we begin, I just want to mention a few housekeeping items. This session is, if you participated in any other events over the last week, we will have interpretation between English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So please select your language preference from the globe at the bottom of the screen. Even if you can speak English and you can hear me right now, you'll want to select English as your option because otherwise you won't hear any of the interpretation services if people speak other languages. So good with that. Our first session today in the WYCUP Virtual Forum is a celebration of our professional journeys. And we'll hear from several young professionals on the challenges they faced along their journey and the strategies that they've utilized to overcome those barriers. And at the end of the session, we'll have the big announcement that I think that many of you have all been waiting for, the WYCUP Scholarship recipients for 2021. So before we begin, Jack, if you could take us to the next slide, there we go. I want to take a moment to thank our co-sponsors, CUNA Mutual Group and PSCU, for their ongoing support of everything that we do at WYCUP. I hope that you all by now recognize these organizations because they have been unwavering advocates for the world's young credit union professionals. And the work that we're doing at WYCUP to build a global community of young professionals would not be possible without their support. So thank you, CUNA Mutual Group, and thank you, PSCU. As many of you know by now, this has been a transformative year for WYCUP. In January, we launched the 10,000 Strong campaign and set a goal for ourselves of expanding meaningful engagement for young people through financial cooperatives. We created the WYCUP Affiliates Network and have been bringing together young leaders from, you can go to the next slide, Jack, the WYCUP Affiliates Network, and have been bringing together young leaders from local networks around the world in the WYCUP Affiliates Council for a monthly roundtable discussion. Next slide, Jack. And we're learning from one another. The more that we do, we see that our interests and our challenges are very similar around the world. Next slide, Jack. At WYCUP, we talk a lot about the 5 E's. Well, the 5 E's for English speakers anyway. We talk about education and employment, and inequalities and empowerment. And our strategy for addressing these issues is based upon our motto at WYCUP, which is to connect, to engage, and to inspire. And so our efforts in the first half of this year have focused primarily on connecting and expanding our network. The WYCUP Affiliates Council has brought us together in a new way to strengthen our communication between local networks that didn't have conversations with one another before. Next slide, Jack. Actually, you can go 2 ahead. Next one, there you go. And in the second half of this year, we'll be focusing on expanding engagement and encouraging young professionals to collaborate on strategies to address our shared challenges. And we're doing that through the WYCUP Connection, which is a global virtual networking session for young professionals. And soon we'll be engaging local networks, employee groups, and individual credit unions through WYCUP's virtual summits, which are based upon a toolkit for virtual engagement that is developed by our very own young professionals here at WYCUP. So it's been a really exciting time at WYCUP, and I want to thank all of you for supporting these efforts. So you can pull off the slides now, Jack, so that we can see one another's faces. I want to pivot now to that third word in our motto at WYCUP, which is inspire. And today we're joined by 4 young professionals, and each of them has an inspiring story to share about their own professional journeys, about the challenges that they faced, and about the strategies that they found most useful in their work. And so we'll take a moment now to spotlight each of them and share some of the insights on how financial cooperatives can do a better job of supporting and engaging with the next generation of leaders. So I'd like to begin with Betty Rose Okiri. Betty Rose is a social scientist who envisions a progressive society in which the marginalized, especially women and youth, are accorded respect and the rights that they deserve. She's a project manager at the African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Associations based in Nairobi, Kenya. And she was a recipient of the Global Women's Leadership Network Scholarship in 2019. And she's been instrumental in the creation of the Africa Women in Co-ops Network. She's a firm believer in equality and equity and advocates for empowerment and mentorship of women. So Betty Rose, welcome. Thank you for being with us here today. When we chatted recently, you highlighted the potential that we have as a sector to raise the voice of young professionals with the desire to make a positive change in the world. However, you mentioned that in some instances, the ambition that we see among young people is confused with impatience, right? And unfortunately, their voices are not being taken seriously. And so I'd like to hear your thoughts this morning on what advice do you have for young people and young women specifically who find themselves in a space designed for an older generation where they don't feel like their voices are being heard? And how have you addressed this issue in your own career?
Thank you, Thomas, for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here with everyone today and just share my thoughts on the same. So as Thomas rightfully put it, most of the time as young people, we find ourselves in situations where you're not being taken seriously on what you can actually put on the table for the fact that people consider that you do not have the needed experience. So at times you will find that you may have the idea, you have a lot to share, but no one is actually really listening to what you're saying because they assume that you're too young to know regarding the same issue that is being discussed on the table. And I'd like to just drive that home by giving an example of myself because I've been in situations where grant the fact that I was young and things like that. So as I was introduced, you've heard that I work for the African Confederation of Cooperatives. So that puts me to work across the continent from time to time. So there's this tenant, and I was charged with the responsibility of organizing, basically coordinating the activities of that particular event. So for this to happen, I needed to coordinate with the hotel staff. And this is a new country for me, it's a new culture. So I didn't understand why every time I went to give instructions on what I wanted and needed to be done, no one was listening. So it really frustrated understanding each other. Is it that maybe it's a language barrier or something of that sort? But at the end of the day, having now discussed the same with our hosting institution, I came to realize that these people listened to me because one, I was young, and two, I was a woman. So according to them, their culture, you cannot take instructions from a woman, let alone a young woman for that matter. So it's not that I didn't know what I was saying, but it's just that for them, whatever I was saying was not important. So that puts you in an awkward place that denies you the opportunity to, maybe even meet the targets that you have in your day-to-day work. So I to bring it closer home on how this can happen to young people. And I'm sure that everyone on this call today has experienced one or two of such scenarios. There's also the notion of we are young, we are millennials, and in some instances we are termed as the microwave generation, where people assume that we just want things quickly. We just want things to happen for us quickly, and we don't want to go through the process of growth. Where someone wants to achieve a certain goal, and just being, wanting it too quickly, or just wanting to jump through the ladders faster than they should, or are as assumed by the system. And again, I follow something that happened recently in my country. I come from Kenya. So there's a case that is currently in the court that is high profile, that involves a lot of government officials. So ordinarily, this case you'd have expected to just get, the seasoned counsels, people that have been in the business for a long time. But we found that there were young lawyers that actually took up the task and came out, and their arguments were equally, commendable, and they put this other senior counsel. So this goes to show that it doesn't, if they've not been working for too long, or they don't have the experience, then they don't have anything to offer. It's a perfect example that once the opportunity is provided and the person grabs it, because it's one thing for the opportunity to be provided and another for you to actually grab the opportunity. A lot can be made because the young people new ideas that if it's already there, then we can have a system that works for everyone. Because remember, if we are working in a place where we're not listening to these other voices, yet we want to have a sector that is working for everyone, because credit unions are supposed to be inclusive. We're supposed to be a sector that is for everyone. We're supposed to be the ones that bring in the people that are unbanked, or people that are marginalized, for lack of a better word. So if then we do not create the space where everyone can be listened to, it means that we are not actually doing what we intend, or what we preach to be doing. So just to maybe give advice, as you've asked Thomas, I'd say that what we need to do first is to show up. You need to actually stand up and be there and show that you're actually interested in voicing out your ideas, and also ready to learn, because it's one thing to have an idea, but it's also another thing to be ready to learn from people that have done whatever it is that you want to do before. Number two, it's in networks, building a lot of networks like what we have here today, because through such networks, then you're able to tap into different gifts from different parts of the world, because we can't have it all. But my strength may not be someone else's strength. So I should be able to tap and be willing what I feel is my strength, so that then together we build on each other and achieve that which we intend to achieve. Number two is by getting sponsors, if I can use that word loosely, in the sense that there are people that are already in the system. There are people that their word contributes a lot to the decision making, or let me better put it as the decision makers. So you should be able to be in a position to sell your idea, to voice out your dream, or voice out to these people, that so that they are sold, that by the time this is tabled, and maybe it's an idea that you want to introduce in your credit union, you already have a number of people on your corner, people speaking for you, that even though they will assume you and say this is a young person who does not know what she's saying or he's saying, there's someone whose voice can be listened to, who is already speaking the same language as you, because you took time to take them through and sell your dream. For me, and what again is also just finding people who have the same vision, or rather people who share my school of thought, people who think in the way that I think, if I can put it. So if you identify such people, then you're able to have a group of people that you can work with, and they can be able to help you voice whatever dreams and help you grow in your career, so that then you're not feeling like you're the only person that thinks in this way. Because trust me, there has to be someone who thinks like you or shares your school of thought. And it's only in the collective thinking or working together that you can be able to, a collective voice will speak louder than when you're trying to say it alone or trying to make a difference by yourself. But this is on the side of the young person, but we also need to recognize that we need the other side, the younger people at heart, the young, to also make an impact. If we lock these young people now, then you find that's when people start developing what we call the imposter syndrome. Because if today I bring out an idea and I'm squashed, the next day I try bringing out something and I'm squashed, then I remain asking myself, is it that I'm relaying wrong information? Is my dream too big? Am I being too much? Then I start doubting myself. And then the next time that maybe I have an opportunity to speak, then I won't speak. So that in itself squashes whatever talent, whatever dream, whatever idea I may have had inside. So the best thing is to allow opportunities for young people to voice what they have, then work with whatever ideas they may bring on board so that you grow them, because you have the gift of experience, also the gift of innovation and energy. So we can create a balance between these two without having to feel like there's this side of the divide and there's that other side of the divide. Because at the end of the day, we are all working for the same cause. We want to have inclusion for everyone. We want to see that everyone feels a part of this sector. So it's a two-sided coin. It's both for the young people to show up. It's both for the young people to create networks and leverage on the same. It's both for the young people to speak out and to find the other side, for them to be able to say what they're thinking. So I think for me, that is the most critical part of it. And then everything else should be able to build up to allow us grow the sector together. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Betty Rose. Thank you for sharing your story. I think that it's so important for us to hear the experiences of young women like you, and the way that the work that you're doing within the sector in order to expand opportunities. You touched on so many great points there. I think that, credit unions are cooperatives, or financial cooperatives. We're supposed to be inclusive. And it's so important that we create a space where everyone feels like they're being listened to. And as young professionals, the number one step the number one recommendation that you had is that we need to show up. We need to be there. We need to be present. We need to build our networks like WYCUP. We find in gatherings like this so much that our strengths complement one another, and we need to find sponsors. We need to find our advocates for our own growth that share a similar vision. And so together, that's what our goal is here at WYCUP, is to work to expand opportunities for young people, both within our organizations and our members in our community. And so thank you so much, Betty Rose, for helping to raise the voice of young and marginalized people everywhere. It's really great to have you with us here today at WYCUP. Thank you. So continuing now, thank you, Betty. So I'd like to introduce you all now to Juan Fernandez Ceballos. Juan is a financial services executive with 15 plus years of progressively responsible experience advocating for credit unions, strategically planning operations, and measuring performance to serve members throughout the country. He's a bilingual manager known for his ability to unite teams towards a vision of excellence. And as a grassroots leader, he has a track record of increasing volunteer participation by 3,000%. So on June 1st of this year, Juan joined the Credit Union Association of New Mexico and became the industry's first Latino American to head a state credit union association in the United States. Juan, it's great to have you here with us today. Congratulations on your new role. Credit unions in New Mexico are very fortunate to have you. So thank you for joining us. I have been fortunate to see you in action as a grassroots leader virtually at several industry events over the last year. And you recently spoke on the topic of networks and stated that your network is your net worth. And here at WYCUP, we've been really focused on expanding and strengthening our own network this year. This virtual environment has provided us with some really great new opportunities to connect and engage internationally. And so I'd like to hear from you. Can you tell us a bit about the role of networks in your own professional journey and how you see that in your life?
Sure, absolutely, Thomas. First of all, thank you very much for that gracious introduction and for inviting me to be here. I'm frankly beyond humbled to be part of this great panel, but I'm also so excited to look around the room, the virtual room, and see the amazing young leaders that are joining us. And by the way, in addition to being the first Latino, I'm the first millennial. So I'm excited for our generation beginning to have a seat at the table and helping to shape the future of our credit union movement. So I grew up in rural Puerto Rico, and my parents were immigrants from the Dominican Republic. So when I first came to the United States, the mainland, to New York, I was 13. And if you had asked me back then if I would have seen myself growing a career in banking, let alone in credit unions, I would have thought you were crazy. That was never really what I really thought I would end up doing. And I was a teller when I was 19 years old in upstate New York at a couple of different credit unions while going to college. And I struggled quite a bit because I was liking what I was seeing in credit unions, but I still didn't quite see myself really having a career in the movement. I also struggled with the fact that I was often the only person of color, the only Latino at a particular credit union that I was at the time. And I didn't really see how that could evolve into a career. And eventually I started going to events that at the time, the New York Credit Union Association put together. And I started meeting people in the movement that truly inspired me. I started seeing how they were going above and beyond and really affecting change in their communities. And they took an interest in me because that's how credit unions are. That's how cooperatives are. We reach across and we look at the person for them being a person, not necessarily for their age or how much money they have. And they inspired me. Then I started meeting people that were Latinos in credit unions that were doing amazing work. And that's when I started realizing that this was where I wanted to be, that this is where I wanted to build a career. And my challenge to all the young people that are joining us today is that they start looking at credit unions, at the cooperative movement, not just as a job, but as a career. Like, how can you connect to people that can be your mentors, that could be your role models, that could inspire you to do more? Because at the end of the day, we are the future of the cooperative movement. We are the future of credit unions worldwide. So those are the people that are going to help you, because at the end of the day, if you look at my career, nobody gets to anywhere in their career on their own. I mean, I came to this country knowing nobody, not even speaking English. from a very, very humble family. And it was people along the way that I met that helped me. I went out of my way to do internships. I went out of my way to meet people. And those are the people that gave me ideas, that inspired me, that really helped me realize what was possible in the credit union movement. And that's why, as you said earlier, your network is your net worth, and it's something that you build over time, because you build that trust, you build your expertise, you build your niche, and you get inspired by those people. It was also along that time that I realized that it is important for us to bring ourselves and our backgrounds, our uniqueness to the table. It's great to be at the table and learn how to do great work in credit unions, but it's also important to bring your whole self and your diversity to that table and help shape that table. And oftentimes when we think of mentors, we think of people that maybe are older, a lot more accomplished than we may be. And at the end of the day, I strongly believe some of the best mentors are people that are our own age, that may be working at a different credit union or a different cooperative sector. Those are people who have great ideas and are going to help you build your career in the long term. The last thing I'll say is that if you look around right now, I mean, you turn on the news, you look at the newspaper, we have forest fires, we have rising temperatures globally, we have COVID that's raging across the world and resurging in places like the United States. We have so many challenges, and the reality is that I strongly believe that credit unions and cooperatives are key to helping solve those problems. And it is our generation, millennials and younger, that are going to be tasked with solving these issues. And I am so excited to see what our cooperative movement and what our credit union movement will build together so that we tackle those issues and are part of the solution. Thank you very much, Thomas.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Juan. You are absolutely right. We have every day, you look at the news, and we have so many challenges in the world. And I honestly believe that's what draws me to this work and to connecting people around the world, is that I truly believe, as you do, that cooperatives are key, and that millennials specifically are going to be the ones who are going to be tasked with solving these issues. So identify those people who inspire you. Look at the cooperative movement, not as a job, but as a career. And as you do that, look for role models, sometimes people your own age. You are the future of the movement. And so as you build that trust and expertise over time, your net worth, or your network, becomes your net worth. So thank you, Juan, for inspiring us by creating a safe space for people to connect and network and learn for one another. It's great to have you with us here at WYCUP today. Thank you for that. Great. So continuing now, next we'll hear from my colleague, Daniela Alvarez in Colombia. And Daniela is the manager of the foundation at Cooperatives, which is the largest credit union in Colombia. She is an advocate for the cooperative model and has championed its potential to achieve sustainable development, reduce inequality, and empower youth. And through Daniela's efforts at the foundation, she has identified several barriers that have historically existed between financial cooperatives and youth. And she's been working to overcome these and empower young members in the process. So Daniela, bienvenidos. Daniela is going to present in English today. Thank you for that, Daniela. We really appreciate the extra effort that involves. You and I have spoken on a number of occasions about the potential for financial cooperatives to be a force for youth empowerment. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Cooperatives. We'd love to hear more. It's a great story.
Okay, sure, Thomas, and thank you for that introduction. I would like to say good morning. My name is Daniela. I want to give you all a very warm welcome for joining this WYCUP panel. For me, it is a pleasure to share this important scenario with all of you. Sorry. My goals for today are, first, I want to contextualize a little bit about the current situation in Colombia and the opportunities that credit unions have to empower and expand their influence in young people. After that, I will share my work experience in a credit union in Colombia and finally emphasize the importance of the young professionals networks. To start with, I would like to point out that the social protests that have occurred in recent months in Colombia have no precedent in our modern history. And the fact that they had been mostly led by young people show a very energetic manifestation of concern and frustration, which made it last and spread throughout almost the entire national territory. The most pressing concerns in young people are summarized in issues such as mistrust in public institutions, great concerns about unemployment, poverty, corruption, insecurity, also inequality, access to education, health services, but above all, lack of opportunities. That's the reason why credit unions have powerful tools to be true authors of the new society that we want for our countries. So from our cooperatives, we must give solid responses to offer real alternatives to young people, because cooperativism must transcend beyond the organization and structures to generate surpluses, effectiveness, and efficiency to its service. I consider what is really important is the members and people who represent it. So if we want to see cooperativism strive, we must first focus on our core values, which are solidarity, social responsibility, democratic participation, and our contribution in making better and happier human beings and sustainable societies. I must say that young people are the present, not the future. So we must prepare, educate, and recognize the expectations that we have, what we want from ourselves, and how are we going to achieve it. In essence, credit unions need youth participation and generational bonding being encouraged from the boards of directors, where the importance of young people within cooperatives is recognized as an asset, because we have the desire and the drive to complement their experience with new and innovative ideas. It is only necessary to provide the right conditions for young people to get involved and embrace the cooperative model, which requires an effort to communicate the advantages and benefits of cooperativism, such as efficiency and empowerment of communities, because it allows us to train the future leaders that we represent us in the government, in private companies, and in credit unions also. In conclusion, in times of economic and social upheaval, it is crucial that youth are the heart of a renewed and resilient cooperative movement. Having said that, I would like to share with you my personal experience within a credit union in which I have had the opportunity to grow both personally and also professionally. I want to say that I joined since I was 19 years old. It has been 13 years now. During that time, I have also been able to study and promote within the organization. I have the opportunity to work hand in hand with high-level and experienced executives who have supported me and given me the chance to show my skills in the various positions I have held over the years, in which I have learned the importance of the cooperative model, teamwork, and social responsibility as the main driver of growth and prosperity in a society. I must highlight that it is not only me. There are many similar examples among my colleagues and teammates within the organization. I consider that the key points in my process were: first, employment in fair conditions. There is no gender gap in the administrative structure. The company provides support for education, and we have professional development opportunities. Also, they promote teamwork, empowerment to assume new opportunities, and also a balance between work and family. And what I consider the most important is the responsibility for the community and the social commitment that I have seen reflected in different scenarios, such as the promotion of art, even the culture, education and bilingualism, harmony and concern for environmental sustainability, the promotion of sports, health and well-being, not only for its member, but also the community in general. The promotion of entrepreneurship and many other aspects that I have witnessed throughout the years. Okay, and in conclusion, all this is very important, and every effort of each of the credit unions of which you are an active members have positively contributed to improving the quality of life of many people. And finally, I would like to share that since my involvement in WYCUP, I have been able to recognize the power of networks, of sharing experiences, and these communities are really necessary to achieve significant objectives and shorten paths that other colleagues through their experiences can share with us to make our work much more valuable. We are all interested in a common goal, which is to inspire more young people, celebrate cooperation, and unleash so much talent around us in order to build a better future for all. And that's all. Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you, Thomas and the WYCUP team, for inviting me.
You are so very welcome, Daniela. And, you know, this is, I think, an interesting secret that you've been keeping from me, that you speak English so well. Daniela and I have, until this very moment, only spoken Spanish with one another. And she mentioned to me yesterday when we chatted that she was going to be presenting in English. And I am so impressed. Congratulations. I know that it's not easy presenting in a foreign language, so good for you. Fantastic job. And thank you, Daniela, for the important work that you are doing in Colombia to empower young people. I know that Colombia is not alone in the difficult situation that many countries across Latin America are facing right now as a result of COVID. And it's so important for our financial cooperatives to be there, to be present in their lives. And I think that this is a great opportunity for other credit unions to follow your lead and to look for new ways that they can be more relevant to young members in their community. So thank you for that. And thank you for supporting our efforts on the WYCUP Affiliates Council. It's great to have you with us here today. Thank you, Daniela. Well, we have saved the best for last, right, Chris? Our final spotlight today is on Christopher Morris. Christopher is an engagement consultant at the Credit Union National Association, known as CUNA in the United States. And prior to his role, Christopher helped credit unions with their business and data strategy planning processes at Advantage Analytics. He has also led communications for the National Credit Union Foundation and CUNA councils. So through many initiatives in and outside of his day-to-day work, Christopher has won numerous industry awards and is a tireless champion for credit unions. Christopher also has a long history with WYCUP, actually. He has been a WYCUP alumni since 2010 and was a WYCUP Scholarship recipient in 2013. So Christopher, thank you for joining us. It's great to see you back at WYCUP. You have a pretty varied background in terms of positions within the credit union movement. You've seen a lot and you've done a lot since you first connected with us back in 2010. What advice do you have for people that want to do something different, that maybe feel held back at their current role?
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for that introduction. First of all, like Juan said, I'm so humbled to be a part of this group. I looked down like 379 people, all amazing people from around the world. So just YCUP is one of my favorite things. So excited to be here. And yeah, I'm also clearly, YCUP 2010, I've an elder YP at this point, a young professional. So yeah, excited to share with you. I could talk for an hour on this stuff. Many of you that know me, I get excited about credit unions. I love it. So I do have some notes to keep me on track. Otherwise, they won't give out the scholarships and I'll get in trouble. So anyway, two main things have helped me, I think, in my career. And that is really first, building and utilizing my network. And then second, and most importantly, challenging myself to grow and learn new things. So first, and Juan really touched on this so well, and just to kind of talk a little bit more about it, but tapping into the networks. I mean, credit unions, we're a movement. We're all about people helping people, right? Not just our members, but each other. One of the things I first realized starting in credit unions is like, wow, everyone is so nice, genuinely nice, like suspiciously nice. And it's because we all just love what we do. We love helping improve each other's lives, members' lives. We're here for each other, right? So get started, get involved outside of your credit union organization. There's so many organizations in your state, in your country, nationally, locally. There's lots of credit union groups, chapter meetings where you are, big part of the DE network. If you're a DE alumni, there's professional groups in America like CUNA councils, and then YCUP. I mean, there's almost 400 of us right now. We could learn from each other, right? That's so amazing. I love that, I have contacts now from around the world through YCUP that I could ask, and I have relied on them for advice. Just so cool. And cheers for all of you for taking this. This could be your first YCUP event. So awesome. Like, you've already done half the work, right? So connect with others, get involved, build your network, connect on social media like LinkedIn, trade business cards in person, ask questions, answer questions, attend meetings, and you have to participate too. That's one of the things that I've learned. You have to, not only ask questions and give, or take, you also have to give and participate as well. So that's huge. The other thing too, I'll mention just quickly that I think has helped me is, I think sometimes you feel stifled, like some folks were saying, because if you only have a certain title or a certain role. One of the things everyone can do is volunteer, right? There's so many organizations in your community, whether you're a teller or a CEO, you can go out to a food bank to do something. And that's a great way to get involved, meet people, make relationships with local organizations. That's only going to help you and your credit union. And you're doing, never you're going to give 2 hours of your time volunteering and feel bad about it. It's always amazing. So the other thing I'll say too that I think with networks is, that's how I got this job. I represent CUNA across the Midwest, the middle part of the country. And when the opportunity opened up, I was like, I already know half the people in this area because I've worked over years to build my network. And my whole job now is to connect people with resources and people at CUNA and other places. And I think, it's a culmination of kind of tapping into the network. So very, very, really, really cool. And so the biggest thing, just to pivot again, I'm just going to keep moving on because I only got a few minutes. The biggest thing that's helped me is just really challenging myself to grow and learn to do new things. Some of you might feel stuck in what you're doing or want to stretch yourself. That's certainly me. I get bored easily. My degree in college, I was in the Army and then I went to school. My college degree is teaching high school English, right? I'm certainly not doing that right now. Yeah, I have to do some writing, some presentations, but since college, I've fell into credit by accident, and I've had communications jobs, web development, strategy, data transformation, business development, just a long and winding road. And I'm really fortunate to be where I'm at today. And sometimes, I'm sure you've heard this too, I kind of hate it when people are like, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. And I almost cringe because I think someone told me once that success is a combination of luck, hard work, and exceeding expectations. So, doing a really good job, doing the work, but also pouncing on those opportunities when they come to you, right? Or you see them. So when you get opportunities that you want to prepare for, you see something that you want to do, you have to be willing to jump, do the work, right? Make it happen. I think too often we talk ourselves out of opportunities because like, that's not really, I don't have a degree in that, or, I can't do that for X. We put all of these assumptions and perceptions of others on ourselves that are not true. We're all badasses and we can do whatever we want, right? And there's some truth to that fake it till you make it. I know that's helped me, but if there's something that I wanted to do, I understood the assignment, did the work, and went above and beyond as best I could. And I'm certainly not perfect, for sure. So just a couple quick examples just to show you what I'm talking about. And that might resonate with you. Like when I started at the foundation 15 years ago, I was just an admin assistant doing finance and admin work, but the website needed a lot of help. And the person doing communications did not have web experience. So I was like, you know what? I really want to do this. I love this job. So I taught myself how to code on the weekends. Like just figured out how to do HTML and web development and started working on the website. Next thing you know, the communications person got let go for whatever reason. And they're like, hey, Chris, you're already doing this job. What if we made you the communications person? I was like, that sounds amazing. So I kind of made that opportunity. And next thing you know, a year later, the CUNA councils needed someone and I'm full-time running 7 websites. And I'm like, what just happened? Right? I mean, it's crazy. So there's an opportunity that because of the work that I did, I made. And around that same time, CUNA, it's like 2010, CUNA did not have social media. They didn't have a Twitter or blog. And I thought that was really important for CUNA to be out there doing that. So myself and a few folks got a committee together and worked for like 10 months to try to get management and people on board. Because if you remember back then, people were really scared of social media, right? So we did all this work and I all of a sudden took on a lot of knowledge. So next thing you know, after we launched the social media, I'm like speaking at conferences and doing social media presentations. And I've become a subject matter expert on social media and I'm teaching it at CUNA Management School. And again, I'm like, what just happened? Like, how did this happen? I created this world for me, which is kind of cool. And then 2 quick other ones, because my life is literally a theme of my life. A friend, Chad Helmanack, and I started a credit union band. And there's no template for a credit union band, right? But it was something fun that we wanted to do. We're called the Disclosures. So if you haven't heard of us, you can go out on the internet and it's as nerdy as it sounds. But we wrote songs about credit unions, put up together albums and videos. And next thing you know, we're doing presentations across the country. Credit unions are using our music for a variety of things. And, we're all of a sudden we're like emceeing national like conferences. And we're like, wow, we're 30-year-old kids emceeing credit union conferences because we made this crazy band. So sometimes you find yourself in these situations with after doing the work. And the last thing, real quick, because this to me is like I'm probably most proud of. I was at the foundation doing communications, felt like I wanted to do something else, and then an opportunity came up at CUNA Mutual Group to help credit unions with data transformation, leveraging the data to help members, things like that. And of course, I don't have a background in that at all. But I was like, man, this sounds so interesting. I love the idea of tapping into data to really, transform the credit union. So I did the homework, took some classes, and then more importantly, I tapped into my network. I reached out to my IT friends and I'm like, walk me through your challenges, the data set in credit unions, everything, just fill in my head with this stuff. Next thing you know, I got the job and I'm like leading workshops for data strategy at $2 billion credit unions. And I'm like, again, like, how did this happen? This is amazing. It's so rewarding. I'm sure all of you have those stories where you push yourself and then you sit back later and you're like, I did that. I can't believe I did that. That's the most rewarding thing, when you push yourself and grow and you do it and you do it well. I mean, I did okay. They didn't fire me, right? So I did okay. It was good job. So the point is, I feel like I'm bragging, but it's hard to not talk about yourself and feel that way. That's what Thomas asked me to do. That's what I'm doing here. But it's 2021. I mean, you can do anything with the internet, with YouTube, with your network. I mean, truly, like, the future is limitless to the point, the things that you can learn. The knowledge is out there. Between 400 of us here and the internet, like, there's no excuse. You can do it. And like I said, I know it's hard too. Being vulnerable is hard. Pushing yourself is hard. Change is hard. Pushing yourself out of your comfort level is. But someone also told me that, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I know for myself, after years of going through these things, like, I feel like I could do so much more because I pushed myself over the years. So And I've learned to not let any limitations or assumptions define my future. So don't let that define your future. Don't put those on yourself. You define your future. All of you, all 400 of you are in the driver's seat. You're the lead actor in your movie, right? You're not a supporting character. So you can all do amazing things. So, and the cool thing is, just to wrap it up, if you need help, ideas, or advice, you've got what, almost 400 people right now, right, that you can tap into this great network, WYCUP, which is probably my favorite thing that I've ever been a part of in credit unions is WYCUP. So thank you so much. Reach out to us. We're here for you. It's the credit union way. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris, so much. Wow. I mean, so many great nuggets of wisdom, and the disclosures rock, by the way. So if anybody hasn't checked them out, go to YouTube, check them out. So many things that you said resonated with me. I mean, just, saying yes, learning new things, getting involved, participate actively, volunteer. I mean, challenge yourself to grow and learn new things. And I think that one of the items that really resonates with me particularly is that there really is a space for everyone within the cooperative sector. You come from an English background. My original degree was in zoology, of all things, and I found a place in the cooperative sector connecting people around the world. And so take every opportunity. And if it doesn't challenge you, like you said, it doesn't change you. Right. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, your network is your pathway to success. So many great things there. And I think we are going to have you back, Chris, because 10 minutes is definitely not enough to hear some of these life stories. So we'll have to reconnect again at a future date. So thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you to Betty Rose, to Juan, to Daniela, and Christopher, all of you, for sharing your stories and for inspiring us on your professional journeys. Betty Rose, thank you for helping to secure a voice for young professionals at the table and for seeing YPs as a source for new ideas and innovation. Juan, thank you for your support and your focus on the power of networks. Daniela, thank you for this great opportunity for our future to empower youth through cooperative education and entrepreneurship. And Christopher, thank you for encouraging us all to say yes to opportunities, to confront our inner saboteurs, to just do it, and to learn by doing more. Thank all of you for inspiring us at WYCUP. All right, everyone. So this is the moment that I think many of you have been waiting for. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the WYCUP Scholarship Program. It was an initiative that was originally developed to raise the voice of young credit union professionals on the global stage. And over the years, WYCUP has awarded 99 full paid scholarships to attend the World Credit Union Conference. And in the process, it's opened new opportunities for emerging leaders to connect their careers to the world. I know it's been a really challenging year for everyone here, and we're all looking forward to coming back together in person again really soon. I think there was some really great energy surrounding the scholarship program this year, because it's been an opportunity for all of us to dream about coming together and exploring the world together once again. And as a result of that, we had an amazing response to the scholarship programs with 75 nominees from 13 countries around the world. That's about 3 times as many scholarship applicants as we get in the normal year at WYCUP. So it was really exciting to see this program grow. And what I'd like to do now is let's take a quick look at all of these talented young people who are making a difference in their communities through their work at their financial cooperatives.
One, two, three, four.
Wow. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've worked through the videos and just editing those clips together. And I just love it every single time, just seeing your faces, seeing the excitement, hearing your stories. Thank all of you for the effort that you put into preparing your videos, to participating in the WYCUP Scholarship Program. And a special shout out to our friends. You may have noticed something in this list, that there was a pretty significant group from Brazil on that list. So thank you to our colleagues at Cooperatives in Brazil for all of the work that you have done to support the professional development and empowerment of young people in Brazil. I think without a doubt, you are a leader in this area in the world, and it will be a pleasure for us through WYCUP to continue sharing your stories of success and empowerment of young people. So this has been a special year in many ways, and we are honored to have CUNA Mutual Group join us in challenging everyone to help advance our work and to help credit unions grow worldwide. Through the Bridge the Gap campaign, CUNA Mutual Group is matching every dollar donated up to $1 million to support the Worldwide Foundation's efforts. And because of their commitment, WYCUP is bridging the leadership gap to for a record number of young credit union professionals this year. A total of 12 young professionals will receive a full scholarship to attend the World Credit Union Conference in Glasgow, Scotland next year. Yes, you heard that correctly. 12 of you will be joining us in Glasgow. So we'll be joining and they will be joined by the WYCUP Scholarship recipients from 2019 and 2020. Remember, we haven't been able to get together for a couple of years, so we're going to do it all together next year. And that will certainly be one of the largest, if not the largest, global gathering of emerging leaders in WYCUP's history. So we're really, really excited about that and looking forward to next year. But it doesn't end there. This year, as a special bonus for all of the scholarship nominees, WYCUP has made arrangements in collaboration with the eLeadership Academy for a personalized webinar series and networking session, as well as a number of scholarships to the eLeader Hub. So I'll be in touch with all of you soon with the details on the special offer, but it doesn't stop here today. Over the next year, we will continue to provide opportunities for this 2021 WYCUP class of scholarship nominees to continue connecting, engaging, and exchanging their stories. So I look forward to all of that. And so now, without further ado, I present to you the 2021 WYCUP Scholarship recipients.
I found a deep connection to my purpose, one that I found is shared across the global movement. And that is to create an environment of belonging and empowerment by driving change and disrupting broken systems in the pursuit of prosperity for everyone.
Quando a gente vem para uma instituição de crédito cooperativo que fala sobre o cooperativismo, que pode ajudar as nossas comunidades, isso soma. O WYCUP é um estímulo para a gente.
E eu espero que a minha jornada inspire jovens líderes da cooperativa, para que façam projetos ousados, transformadores, inovadores e sustentáveis, para que a gente leve o cooperativismo sempre a mais lugares e para que juntos a gente construa uma sociedade mais próspera.
One of my most favorite things to do in my role as branch manager is coaching and developing the next generation of credit union leadership. I think it's important that we let everyone know that there is a space for them in the cooperative world and in the credit union space.
In El Salvador, as in many other countries, in this time of generalized crisis caused by COVID-19, we need to create our network of young professionals, which will represent the present and the future of our movement. I believe faithfully that the cooperation is the solution and that we all together are going to develop more young professionals in this sector of social economy and leadership are partners of our credit unions.
What is more, promoting people to take action and make positive changes in the movement. Our purpose is to remind our colleagues of our reason for being, our nature, that they today may win us over, but we must never lose our cooperative identity.
Que só de fazer aquilo lá, de realizar, conseguir entregar ou conseguir ajudar alguém, você fica assim, não precisa mais nada.
Eu acredito que todos nós, temos a sementinha do cooperativismo plantada aqui dentro. Eu acredito que uma pessoa consiga motivar a outra. Quando eu entrei no comitê, eu tinha uma ideia de ação. A partir do momento que eu comecei a ter contato com mais pessoas, eu já passei a ter ideia de melhores ações, de melhores projetos para ajudar maiores pessoas.
I believe our system is strongest when we come together and goes furthest when we work together. Supporting emerging leaders is vital to our sustainability and progression, and I want to continue to work with thought leaders to make sure we are growing and supporting our movement's current and future leaders.
Many people think that you can love only creative professions, and I have found a place for creativity in the cooperative. Then you see that your work has made someone live better, you start to solve a new task with renewed energy. You can do everything if there are people around who believe in you.
Já pensou, com a ajuda dos colegas de outros países, quantas pessoas nós poderíamos impactar? Nas minhas redes sociais tenho apenas 3.000, mas com a ajuda dos colegas de outros países teríamos milhões de pessoas que teriam contato ao conceito do cooperativismo. E aí, vamos levar o cooperativismo para o mundo?
In a fast-changing global landscape like today, there is no better time to share our story and carry on the rich legacy of our sector.
Congratulations for all of your hard work, to all the scholarship recipients, to everyone. It was one of the most difficult processes to work through, going through those videos and making this determination, because the truth is that every single one of you deserve this opportunity. And so that's our hope with continuing to bring together this WYCUP class of 2021 throughout the year, so that this isn't just a one and done opportunity. We want to continue engaging and connecting you and offer something to every single one of you to be part of our global community. So congratulations to everyone. The world is a better place because of you, and we are honored to support your professional journeys through WYCUP. You have inspired us, and I look forward to working with all of you in the coming years as we work to strengthen our global network and make financial cooperatives even more relevant to young people. So thank you all for joining us today. I think we went just a couple of minutes over. This officially concludes the first session of the WYCUP Virtual Forum, but I invite you to hang out here for a few minutes and continue chatting as we highlight some of the scholarship nominees. Thank you to everyone. I look forward to seeing you all next year at Glasgow. And please join us. We have 2 more sessions today that are going to be as equally exciting and focused on the power of financial cooperatives to change the world. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Take care.